From the four corners of this land we call America the Beautiful, here is a fascinating look at the world around us. RV trips of adventure, discovery, and beauty to find some of the most beautiful and unique places, people, and events on American Odyssey. Join us now as we leave the freeways behind and head for the back roads of America to discover what's just beyond the next bend in the road. Hi, I'm Rudy Schroeder, your host on an adventuresome RV trip along the west coast of Arizona. What? You didn't know Arizona had a west coast? Well, consider the shores of the Colorado River, Arizona's west coast. Then let's go south from the northern border to the snowbird's Mecca, Quartzsite, along Arizona's west coast on American Odyssey. Well, of course, an RV adventure can start anywhere. It just so happens that this American Odyssey along the west coast of Arizona starts right here in the hazy, lazy glitter gulch of Las Vegas, Nevada. Our final destination is Quartzsite, Arizona, by way of Hoover Dam, which includes Lake Mead, then on to Kingman, Oatman, Lake Havasu City, and finally Quartzsite. This is going to be a trip to remember. Ah, yes, Las Vegas, that electric tinsel town that ain't what it used to be, and it should be visited at least once in a lifetime. The Strip, as it's called, is a hustle-bustle of cars and humanity day and night. And the visions of plush hotels like the Mirage, Harrah's, and the Sands, to name a few, will make you believe you've been transported to Never Never Land. Some of the newer ones, like the MGM Grand or the Luxor, for instance, seem to have been planted here by aliens from another planet. This pyramid at the Luxor, believe it or not, is a real live hotel. Now, bear with me. I probably sound just like I fell off the pumpkin truck, but come on now. This is my first time in Las Vegas. The night sights are a neon artist's dream come true. It's as if someone set off a bomb in a paint factory. All of this has one purpose: to get you to come in and play the games in the casinos. And if you come here with the attitude of knowing you're going to spend some money and have a good time, you won't be disappointed. And if by chance you hit the jackpot, well, so much the better. But don't bet more than you're prepared to lose. One of the most amazing sidewalk shows for all to see was in front of Treasure Island Casino. Now this goes on all day and night, and it's free to the public. Watch this, you won't believe it.
British man of war passing skill point, bearing down off the starboard beam. Aye, Captain, she's fully rigged, 14 guns on her.
In the name of His Royal Britannic Majesty, King of England, and all that he surveys, I order you brigands to lay down your arms and receive a marine boarding party.
The only thing we'll receive from you is your swords, valuables, and whatever rum you might have on board. Number 4 and 5, consent for a broadside.
All hands, avast the public, abandon ship.
See what I mean? It's great. Okay, we're on our way. Highway 93 takes us through Boulder City, the gateway to Lake Mead and Hoover Dam, and it's a good place to find a motel or a bite to eat if you're so inclined. Our first glimpse of Lake Mead, the waters held back by Hoover Dam, comes as you leave Boulder City. Lake Mead is a national recreation area administered by the National Park Service, but there are private resort operators in various areas. One of those is Seven Crown Resorts that rents houseboats at the Echo Bay Marina. I asked Brian about renting a houseboat on the lake. He told me everything I ever wanted to know about Lake Mead.
Well, if you can look out and see where we are, you can't look out around Lake Mead. It's gorgeous. Look at this lake. There's the boater's paradise. We've got everything you could ever possibly want at Lake Mead. We're driving right now on a 50-foot houseboat. Sleeps 10 people. We've got a microwave oven, air conditioning, barbecue out front, plenty of deck space for all. You can see people out front. Leisurely towing a ski boat along, so we can do a little skiing a little later. We might do a little scuba diving when we go up to the cove up here a little while. Maybe we'll do some water skiing in the cove. I don't know. We can get Paul to do that. We've got jet skiers. We can rent jet skis. We can cruise anywhere you want on the lake. We can stop at any marina along there and gas up. Why do you want to come here? Water temperature gets in the 80s in the summer. It's a pleasant, mild winters. I could go on. What else do you want to know about FFA and Lake Mead? A little up from the lake, we've got a full-service RV park too. A lot of people come in, they drag their own boats down, they bring their own RVs and park up there. I think we have 60-something spaces, full hookup, sewer, water, power. Very reasonable rates. A lot of people utilize that way. They drop the boat in the water, camp in the RV park. Very affordable.
Hey, not a bad idea, especially if they share the cost with another couple. Next, we take a closer look at Hoover Dam by actually going down inside the dam, where electricity is made to light up the night skies of the Southwest. I took the tour that takes us deep down into the bowels of Hoover Dam by means of an elevator. Once down inside the dam, I felt like I was deep inside an Egyptian pyramid, and King Ramses II would be just around the next bend. They never showed. The huge generators were quietly doing what they'd been doing since 1935. I tried to put out of my mind what this dam and others have done to the once spirited waters of the Colorado River. Is this the price we must pay for all those lights in Las Vegas and Los Angeles? Will Hoover Dam still be here 1,000 years from now? These are some of the questions my mind kept serving up to me as I wandered through this concrete edifice of modern technology. Next stop, Kingman, Arizona. But first, a moment to catch a breath of desert air and marvel at the beauty of these wide open spaces. When I look at these things, the desert, the mountains, the flowers, the road trailing off in the distance, even the remnants of past existence, I sometimes think we are alone in the universe. And sometimes I think we are not. In either case, the idea is quite staggering. After entering Kingman, I headed for the Mojave Museum of History and Art. Why, you ask? Because this is the town where Andy Devine grew up. You remember Andy from the good old days of black and white cowboy movies. When Andy was a child, he fell on a stick and injured his larynx. From then on, his raspy voice became his trademark. Andy was born in 1905 in Flagstaff, Arizona, and moved with his parents to Kingman in 1906. He contracted leukemia in 1973 and died in 1977. Old Route 66 went through Kingman, and Route 66 is the road we're going to take to the old mining town of Oatman. Now, if you're old enough to remember the Flying A gas stations or when ham and eggs and sunshine were good for you, then you may have driven Route 66. Oh, by the way, when you leave Kingman for Oatman on Route 66, make sure you have plenty of gas. Gas stations are few and far between. And you might take a moment to park along the way and take a look at the beautiful scenery of the beautiful Arizona desert. I'll bet you remember Ed's Camp. And of course, Oatman itself, right on Route 66. In fact, it goes right through both of them. Well, they may be a little worse for wear, but they're both still there. And of the two, Oatman managed to make it to the 21st century by hook or crook. And it's a little unique. Let's take a closer look. Some strange things are going on in Oatman that I'd like to show you. One of them is the visitors that wander into town from the desert. And the other one is the strange creature this posse rounded up and put in the Oatman jail. Well, here's another fine mess you've got me into, Stanley. Hey, don't go away. As soon as I get myself out of this mess, I'll be right back. It's early morning in the quaint little old mining town of Oatman, Arizona. The streets are still deserted. I was having breakfast with Ted Tonioli and his wife Sherry, owners of the Oatman Hotel. Ted was telling me about the two young girls who came into town late one dark winter night and asked to rent a room. All the rooms were empty that night, and the town was deserted. I'll let Ted start the story.
They came in late on a Saturday night, about 10 o'clock at night. Of course, the whole town was closed down except for us. We're the only thing open at night. And so they stopped here because they had come through 30 miles of these mountain roads with not a soul or a light anywhere. And they were looking to come in and find a place to stay for the night. So Sherry had rented them a room, and she had explained to them they were a little scared. They were girls in their 19.
The girls went up to their room, but they didn't know that they were the only ones in the hotel. Now, next morning, when one of the girls turned in the key, Ted asked her how they had slept. She said they'd slept fine except for the man next door that walked up and down the hall, and they finally heard him go to bed around 2 o'clock in the morning.
So I said to the girl, I said, "Oh my gosh, that's the haunted room." She says, "What haunted room?" She had, to keep the girls from being afraid, she didn't even bother to tell them anything about a haunted room or a ghost story. So the girl immediately ran up and got her roommate, and 5 minutes later they were just trailing us out of here.
Well, whether you believe in ghosts or not, the ham and eggs are good, and it was time to wander out into the streets to see if our four-legged visitors from the hills have appeared yet. Yep, right on time. Mooching a free meal and just wandering around as if they owned the town. Well, in a way, I guess they do own the town. At least they think so. Every day around 10 in the morning, the wild donkeys that live in the surrounding hills wander into Oatman to take the tourist for everything they can get. You can buy carrots to feed them from some of the merchants. And if you've got something in your pockets, they'll find it. Want a carrot? What a delightful little town. I really enjoyed it, but we've got to move on. Since we can't see where we're going in life, let's enjoy the scenery along the way. Next stop, Lake Havasu City, where the world's largest antique, the London Bridge, now resides. Well, folks, we're at Lake Havasu City, Arizona. And behind me is the London Bridge. Lake Havasu is a city of over 37,000 residents and welcomes over 1 million visitors each year. The original London Bridge was dismantled in England, the stones were numbered, and reassembled here, stone by stone, and completed in 1971 at a cost of $2.5 million. Another fact that can't be denied is the fun in the sun Lake Havasu City offers to all who come here any time of the year. This is what I meant when I referred to the west coast of Arizona. Quartzsite, where the snowbirds roam and the RVers from all over have more fun than normal people do.
Hi Ollie welcomes you to Quartzsite, Arizona for the High Jolly Days. In just a little while in the arena, we have the camel races and the ostrich races. Enjoy yourself today.
This is the Woodstock of the Over the Hill gang. To these retired RVers, that means when you're over the hill, you pick up speed. And pick up speed they do when they get to Quartzsite. Motorhomes and travel trailers of all kinds cover the desert floor as far as the eye can see. Millions of them every winter season. They come from everywhere, including Canada, which is to be expected. You have to see it to believe it. The man who is king of the hill around here is Howard Armstrong, owner of the Main Event, which provides the entertainment and facilities for the RVers.
I say in a 30-day period that we run in here that we get 1 million people in here now.
1 million?
1 million people, yeah. It's an unbelievable thing for a back, you know, this town.
In the winter.
Yeah, it's in the winter. We got a population here the rest of the year. We got incorporated 4 years ago, and we had 1,500 people. So we've
that's the residents?
Yeah, that's the residents. And this thing actually blows now to, in 30 days, we'll run 1 million people through here. So it's a phenomenon any place in the United States.
It really is. Now, one of the nicest guys I've met in a long time was Jerry Price and his wife and crew chief, Vivian. Jerry invited me along on a hot air balloon ride, my first.
I'm in charge. I'm with you, whatever you say.
Okay, we're going to go up in it in just a few minutes, and you'll get a picture of one of the biggest campouts in the world.
I've never done this before.
Well, when you look down on all these campers in Quartzsite, you're going to know what camping's about. There's 1 million of them out here.
Well, folks, I'll tell you one thing. If you come to Quartzsite, where the snowbirds go, you see hot air balloons, pray for me. Hey, somebody walked in front of the camera.
Well, he's a bluebird snowbird.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
We're off into the wild blue yonder. Wow, what a blast. I'm used to riding in things with wings on them.
I don't know how this thing can fly. The wings are too small.
So we're going to go up for a little bit of altitude, let you see what the country looks like and how many campers hang out here in the wintertime. Then we're going to go down and do what balloons do best. We call it contour flying. We're going to be within about 50 feet of the ground, just following the humps and the bumps and looking at the animals. Seems like all we want to do is go through the Palo Verde trees here. Now we'll get down by the ground and we'll...
Well, a landing was a little bumpy, but I've had worse. I've always wanted to try a ride in an ultralight, and this was my chance. Well, I did it. My pilot, Tim Mudrick, just smiled when I asked questions. The two-stroke engine was right next to our heads, and the earplugs we were wearing were very, very effective. I'll try anything once, and if it feels good, I might even try it again. At the far end of I-10 below is Los Angeles, about 200 miles to the west. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Watch out for those feet. These are the biggest darn chickens I've ever seen.
Here they come, prancing and dancing down the middle of the arena. All right, she's got a power steer them down all the way. It looks like the one on the outside over here on my side making a run for the lead. Oh, look out, it's going to be close. Yeah!
Well, there's also bull riding. You can call this bull riding if you can hang on. Ooh. Boy, that's gotta hurt. And then the camel races. Well, this one speaks for itself. Ride 'em, cowboy. When Wolfman Jack retired from radio, John Roars, who called himself Wolfman John, took his place, and he's having lots and lots of fun playing 60s rock music to those that care to listen. Now, both of these are antiques, but I'll bet you can't remember the name of this 1935 travel trailer. Well, don't feel bad, I couldn't either. It's a 1935 Bow. Quartzsite is famous for rock hounding. You know, we could go on and on, but doggone it, we're running out of time, and there are other back roads to explore, so maybe next winter you can come here and see for yourself the amazing snowbird habitat of Quartzsite, Arizona, and say hi to some of the most wonderful people, places, and things. Till next time, I'm Rudy Schroeder saying thanks for riding along with me. You know, those snowbirds at Quartzsite know how to have more fun than normal people do. I mean, they let their hair hang down and enjoy life to the fullest and make no bones about it. Now, if you're young enough at heart to enjoy a camel race or watch a 400-pound chicken pull a chariot or take a ride in a hot air balloon, then you belong among the snowbirds at Quartzsite. I'm Rudy Schroeder. See you next time on American Odyssey.